Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. So, today, we're going to be taking a look at a brewery you guys have heard me talk about plenty of times before already. To be honest, I've had a lot of stuff from this brewery before, but today we're going to be looking at kind of a different style from them. I haven't really had this many stouts from this brewery before. Of course, 903 is really well known for a lot of their sours from like their slushy line and all that kind of stuff, so they really like using all those like heavily fruited sours in their repertoire and everything. But they also come out with a decent amount of stouts too, and I think I'm starting to get into my rotation from 903 to where I have a little bit more stouts coming in from them now, which is pretty cool. So today we're going to be taking a look at their Chupacabra Imperial Stout. This is batch 3 out of all the batches they've done with it. I believe every single time they've made this beer, they change it up a little bit. So this is a stout aged on cinnamon, allspice, turbano, marshmallow, coconut, hazelnut, vanilla, and oak spirals. So it's be interesting. I'm curious to see if like all those like heavily spice forward things are going to kind of give me similar notes how you would expect out of like a Belgian style beer, especially when it comes to being like maybe a Belgian quad or a Belgian triple, just because those are heavily spiced, but having a lot of those desserty notes along with like the marshmallow and the vanilla and the coconut and everything. I'm really curious how those kind of two elements are going to mix together. Maybe the allspice is going to give it maybe more of like a pastry kind of situation. I'm not sure. But knowing this is aged with oak too as well, you're definitely maybe going to get a nice, like a little bit of a smokiness to this, maybe a woodsy kind of element as well. But I'm not sure. I'm kind of going in blind with this one because it's a very, very interesting kind of things they mix together to create this one. So I'm pretty damn excited. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to crack this guy open and see what this thing's all about. If I didn't mention before, this is a 12.5% ABV, so definitely up there in percentage. I wouldn't consider this sessionable at all. In my opinion, this is definitely one that you want to kind of sip on throughout the day. Oh yeah, definitely getting a lot of those more sweeter notes coming through. Definitely that like coconut vanilla is coming through on the nose, almost like a, yeah, it's definitely sweeter. Kind of reminds me of like a little bit of like a s'mores kind of element on the nose. But you can definitely tell there's a sweeter note to this one on the nose that I really am enjoying. So, gonna be drinking this out of my untapped tulip glass this afternoon. Let's see how this pours. I'm expecting it to be having like a more heavier mouthfeel, so I don't know if, I think it might be to the point where it's syrupy, just because it doesn't say it's a milk stout or a pastry stout, but having those sweeter elements in there are kind of gonna give it that more decadent experience, hopefully. So let's pour this guy. Oh yeah, this thing is as black as my soul, which is how I like it. And who knows, we might get a little bit of a booziness coming from this. I'm not sure. Didn't really get any booziness coming from the nose on this guy. But this pours dark, pours heavy, not really much of a head going on it. Of course, you kind of see the lacing kind of grabbing onto the side of the glass. But yeah, still getting a lot of that heavy, like almost sweeter kind of dessert decadency coming out of it. So I'm expecting this most likely will be a little bit sweeter of a stout, but I want to kind of taste those spices coming through a lot. Yeah, it smells delicious. So without further ado, hell, it's time to try this guy out. So cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Okay. Wow. Right off the bat. Okay, this is very interesting because you get that large sweetness come through. You get a very, very like almost smoky woodsiness coming through as well. So like you get a very, very upfront rush of sweetness, and then right in the middle it kind of gets to like this bitter kind of feeling, and then it goes back to sweetness again. That's very, very interesting how it goes back and forth between the flavors you're getting. Definitely not as syrupy as I thought it would be. It has like a little bit more of an effervescence to it, like a little bit more of a bubbly mouthfeel, which is not a bad idea. I think it, when you comes to this style of sweetness you get at the end, your kind of mind puts you into the way of thinking that this is going to be a very like silky smooth, almost like coating the mouth kind of stout, which it does have those elements, but it also kind of leaves that kind of bubbly, kind of almost like a drier kind of stout as well, which is very, very interesting. I think that's pretty damn cool if they're able to kind of do that. They're bringing elements of like your normal like stuff you would experience from like a Guinness or something like that, where it's like a dry kind of stout, but having those desserty aspects come through pretty heavily is, yeah, this one's pretty damn solid. I'm enjoying this one. So after one sip, this is absolutely delicious. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. Oh yeah, Not really getting much of a booziness to this one. There's definitely a nice sweetness to it. But like how I said before, it hits you in waves. Hits you with sweetness up front. Right in the middle, you get like a bitterness. Maybe it's like they hopped it a little bit, of course. I think that kind of the nuttiness and the allspice kind of cut away from the sweetness. Like the hazelnut may add a kind of like nutty sweetness to this, but I think it's most likely adding to that smoky, woodsy kind of thing, that kind of flavor you get in the middle, and then it just, that kind of sweetness that rushes over you at the end is very, very nice. It's definitely something that stays on the palate when it comes to flavor. It doesn't really like just hit the mouth and then just dissipates right away. It definitely is a lingering like flavor in your mouth, which is really really good. So, of course, if you can't get your hands on this Chupacabra from 903, Untapped does a really cool thing to where they show similar beers to this one when it comes to stuff that you might be, if there's anything that you recognize when it comes to the breweries that I'm about to name, but you might be able to have a similar experience to this one when it comes to what Untapped shows as similar beers. So let's look here. First one right off the bat, everybody knows about this one. It's from Guinness. It's the Guinness Drought, which I think that may bring similar elements to that kind of almost drier mouthfeel you get at times. So, but I don't think it's going to really be the same when it comes to flavor, just because Guinness doesn't have all those kind of other added like sweetness notes to it. It's not really that sweet of a stout in my opinion. But let's see, we got one here. We got one from Oak Cliff Brewing Company here called the Bourbon Barrel Sombre, which is a, okay, this is like a 12.5 aged in Jim Beam bourbon barrels. So I don't know, with this one you might taste more of a boozy note to it. I'm not really getting much of a booziness, but I think this may be a pretty close kind of situation with this one, just because, of course, a lot of the flavors you're going to get are very, very rich. This is a very, very more decadent kind of rich kind of beer, but especially when you're kind of having it age in like barrels and all that stuff, the flavors of dark fruit and like dark chocolate are come through a little bit more, when this one's more like a milk chocolate almost. But let's see, we got one here from a local brewery of mine up in Oswego Brewing Company. Have their triple XL overalls, which is like an 11% big boy stout they do, so it's roasty, chocolatey. Yeah, it might be I think this one might be pretty close, in my opinion. That'd be pretty a similar experience. And then we got one here that's another really well-known brewery, Alaskan Brewing Company, with their 35th anniversary ale, which is like a 9% Russian Imperial Stout with birch syrup and wildflower honey. That's pretty damaged. That sounds absolutely delicious, not gonna lie. I guess you may have similar kind of notes to this. It's not gonna, of course, this one doesn't have as much of an ABV to it, so having those like more Russian Imperial Stout flavors, having those more of those maltier kind of things coming through. And I think birch syrup, I think, is very interesting to add. Of course, wildflower honey might add like an extra element of sweetness. I think you may be able to get a similar kind of thing where it's like dry, sweet, almost woodsy kind of thing. And then we got one here from the brewery called Abuela Special, which is the donut box, which is a dough pastry. That's definitely, I guess, when it comes to the sweetness level of the beer I'm drinking right now, this may be the closest one to deliver on the sweetness. But I think it's either between this one from the brewery, the Abuela's Donut Box, or the 35th Anniversary Ale from Alaskan, I think are going to be the pretty closest to similar beers to this one, just because you're going to get those same elements of sweetness, woodsy smokiness, and there's kind of having those back and forth flavors be giving you a overall pretty close similar experience to this one. So let's see here, what do we got next? Of course, let's look and see what Untapped say with the description and what the ratings are in this guy. So the description they have on Untapped for the Chupacabra Batch 3 is: Chupacabra is back with its third release, is bigger than ever. Imperial Oak Aged Stout boasts a legendary level of adjuncts, hazelnut, vanilla, cinnamon, allspice, coconut, marshmallow, and turbano sugar. So turbano is definitely, it's a sugar in there, so that's definitely adding an extra element of sweetness as well. Let's see, like I said, it's 12.5% ABV, and with over 1,303 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.18 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. I don't think I had anybody on my friends list check this one in. I swear I thought my dad drank this one, but I guess he didn't yet, or he just forgot to check it in. It could be one of those things. But let's see what people are on Untapped are rating this one. So we got one here. He rated it to 2.5, purchased off Tavor, which, hey, maybe he might not expected the kind of the heavy smokiness that you get in the middle. Maybe it might be too sweet for him. Who knows? But let's see. We got a 4.25 here. We got a 4 out of 5 here saying I want more and says it's a smooth criminal. Yeah, this is definitely a pretty smooth one. I'm definitely agreeing on that one. We got a 4.5 purchase off Tavor. This guy purchased it at a Binny's Beverage Depot. Which one did he purchase it at? So apparently this stuff's available in Illinois. So if you want to get the Chupacabra Batch 3, he was able to purchase it a couple days ago in the Binny's Beverage Depot in Plainfield. So knowing that it's available in Illinois, that's a really cool thing. So let's see. We got a 4 out of 5 purchase off Tavor, like how I purchased mine. 4.25. We got another 4.5 here from Missy's Discount Liquor, which is in Shawnee, Kansas? It looks like that might be Kansas. Now let's see. We got another 4 out of 5, 4.25. Full on 5 out of 5. This guy must have really liked it. Another 4. Another 4.25. Another 4.25. Another 4 saying just yes. So he must have really liked it. That yes was the only words needed for this one. And then this guy gave it a full out of 5 saying unreal. Chocolate throughout, cinnamon finish, marshmallow and vanilla nose. 5 out of 5 almost doesn't seem to do it justice. I should have brought 4 of these. Yeah, so this guy must have really liked it. So that's... Yeah, a lot of these ratings are definitely, I can see why people are rating these ones as they are. Some of them are a little bit lower than usual, but it's really cool seeing that 903 has kind of worked their way up to be distributed in Illinois, being able to be purchased at like our big beverage depots with just Binny's. And then you seeing verified locations that sell 903 and might most likely have this one in stock. We got the Auburn Wine and Spirits in Wichita, Kansas. We got Justin's of Lexina, which is in Lexina, Kansas. We got another place in Wichita, Jacob Liquor Exchange, and then we got a place in Flower Mound, Texas, and then Richardson Beer and Wine, which is in Richardson, Texas. So, of course, the availability of 903 in Texas is going to be very, very available. I know they stay pretty widely available when it comes to the state of Texas. I've seen them get distributed all the way to like Arizona. I don't know if they've seen them move up to New York yet. I know Duchess is trying to talk to one of his bottle shops up there to see if they can start picking up 903, which is one of Duchess's favorites. So who knows? You might be able to see this one available in your area. But of course, if I want to find a place where I can recommend 903 where you can get your hands on it, always going to recommend getting your hands going on Tavor and seeing if you can create an account and see if you can get stuff shipped to you from them, because 903 shows up on Tavor pretty often. So who knows, you might be able to get your hands on the next batch of this Chupacabra. Who knows, it might be batch 4 or 5. I don't know how many batches they've done of it so far. But overall, this one's absolutely delicious. I really like that back and forth of sweetness, dry smokiness in the middle, and then flushes your mouth with a nice sweetness again. Kind of just hits you in waves when it comes to flavors, which is showing that 903 is always really good at what they do. I really stand by that. 903 is doing something really nice over there in Texas, so they're probably one of my favorites when it comes to the breweries in the state of Texas for sure. So let's start figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings on this guy. Let me see if I can pour the rest of this into my glass. I think I could. Yep. Okay, so can art. Yeah, I like what 903 did with this one. Kind of having that old style kind of feel. There's the Chupacabra on the front. Of course, it has Chupacabra on the name. I really like the detail they put in it, kind of having that like old school kind of drawing to it. Of course, 903's signature, like put their logo on the side and then having like the list of ingredients on the side as well. That's definitely what 903 usually does. And then, of course, having like your warnings and all that stuff. The type of glass they recommend using, which is, of course, a tulip glass, and giving you all like another place to show the name of the beer, showing your ABV and all that stuff. So they usually take really good advantage of taking up all the real estate on their can art, which is something I can appreciate. They even kind of worked behind all the warnings and stuff, using to keep that kind of look of the mountains and like the desert where you see like cactuses in the background, all that stuff. It's a really, really nice touch that even though they had to put a bunch of warnings on the can, just because it's something you have to do when you make beer, all these different like warnings and all the kind of like stuff like that. So yeah, but being able to put like the picture in the background is a really, really nice touch. So I think for can art, I'm going to give this one a solid 4.25 out of 5. I really like it. Really, really like it. This is definitely something that would catch my attention at a liquor store or bottle shop, just because, first off, if I see 903 at a liquor store or bottle shop, I'll definitely be going over there and see what it is, see if it's something that I've had before or not. But Yeah, can art in this one is very, very nice. So let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at 903, would I get another one? Absolutely. This is for being not having many stouts from 903. This is definitely the most complex stout I've had from them when it comes to the flavor profile and how those flavors hit you. It's definitely not your average run-of-the-mill everyday Imperial Stout. And that's what I really enjoy. You could tell that they kind of did something special with this one. And knowing that each batch is a little bit different, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for all of the different batches that come out, just to see if there's any difference between the two, if they change ingredients or not. So, yeah, overall, this beer is absolutely fantastic. And I think my final rating for this guy, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Almost an 8.75. I think I'm going to leave it with an 8.5. Really, really delicious. If you can get your hands on this batch 3 Chupacabra from 903, go ahead. Just don't hesitate. If you're a stout fan, if you kind of like a little bit, you like sweeter stouts, I think you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy dry stouts, I think that kind of dryness in the middle, like counterbalancing the sweetness in it, I think would be something that you would enjoy. Yeah, 60 for King Phil, go right ahead. I don't know if it'll show up as a link, but if you can put a link in the chat, if you can do whatever you want, man. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, solid 8.5 out of 10 for me on this one. Absolutely delicious. If you get your hands on this one from 903, don't hesitate, just do it. Like I said, if you're a stout fan, when it comes to pretty much, if you like your more drier stouts or your sweeter stouts, I think this would be a fan, like something that you create a fan of, like both of those like cult following styles of a stout. So, other than that, I think that is pretty much what I got for you guys today. So, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Of course, if you want to go over to 903's website, see what they have available on their website. Link in for their website is down in the description below for you guys. They have some stuff over there on tap right now that they don't have this one available at the moment, but they have some other varieties that may be something that'll tickle your fancy. Of course, all their slushies, they have a slushie available that I've been wanting to try. So if you're over in the Sherman, Texas, and you're able to get your hands on some of the stuff they have available, go ahead and do it. They make some pretty damn solid beers. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you want to see kind of a social media aspect of beer drinking when it comes to, I don't want to say it's like Facebook for beer drinking, but Untapped is always a platform where if you're a craft beer lover, you need to get yourself over to Untapped. It's available on Android or iPhone, or you can even use it through your desktop. You check in beers, get badges, see what's local in your area, see what's popular in your area. Of course, just see what's popular on like the global scale of things when it comes to what's trending for beer right now. But they have so many different like discount codes. They have their own merch store where you could buy glassware. You can buy so many different things from over there. It's really, really cool. Plus, you get like different discount codes and coupons for every kind of service available for craft beer. So it's just a really, really fun platform. But overall, yeah, this beer from 903 absolutely knocked it out of the park. So big shout outs to the guys over there. Of course, it's a family-run business, so that family's doing some pretty good stuff over there. So big shout outs to you guys over at 903. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for everybody. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. But ladies and gentlemen, we are done here for the day. So again, thank you everybody for chilling with me. You guys are amazing. Hope you guys have a beer to enjoy the rest of this weekend. So I'm going to say it like I always say it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time, people. Cheers.